Good evening. Thank you for joining us on NTV People's Parliament. We are coming to you from Amura district yet again. We were here last week discussing matters education, and today we are here to understand how can parents come together to support the education sector. How can they support their children? How have they been supporting them? Because we realize that there are some gaps and challenges that are affecting students not to perform to their full capacity. But in the end, we see them subjected sometimes to torture or beatings because of the performance. But what can parents do better? How can we parent better? What does parenting for respectability mean? That even as we are parents, how can we parent our children in a respectful manner and still be disciplined? How can we ensure that they are emotionally healthy and socially responsible? This is NTV People's Parliament. We are delving into the conversation. Honorable Member, thank you for being part of this conversation. Immediately after you, I'll have two officials come to the floor of the August House, honorable members, to speak about parenting for respectability. I know Honorable Stella in the House, and then I'll have Honorable Betty come to the floor after the honorable member here. Yes, honorable member. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Honorable Speaker, and everybody present. I'm by the name of Karabat from Lamugi Sub-County. I'm a parent. I want to talk brief on the challenge facing education in Amura. It's nearly a round problem, but for me, as a parent, the challenge that I've seen which is facing education in Amura majorly involve parents, not teachers. Because none of any teacher who put on a cloth very early in the morning, go to school and fail the learner. But the parent attitude towards education is very poor. We must confess. With the coming of many farms which are within Amura, a negative attitude towards education, including we the parents, that is the one causing poor performance in education. Let me give a simple example. For me, though I'm a parent, but I live by example. We are overproducing children, of which with women, the moment you have more than one, they will compete in producing children. And at the end result, even what to eat in the home is a challenge. How come that we will be able to pay school fees at schools? And if teachers are here, how many report cards are being left every time without picking them from schools? So, if my report card is not being picked as a pupil, do you think I can be promoted to the next class without seeing my results? And this thing of saying we are poor, no. It's our brain which is poor as a parent. Most of us are drunkards. And you find at least a person can take like 5,000 shilling on alcohol. Now you multiply that 5,000 shilling times 7, that is how much? That is per week. Then multiply by 4, which is per month. Then multiply by 12, which is per year. It means we are greedy. That's why you have poor performance. Then also, I talk of religion aspect of it. In Amura, if I'm not mistaken, any small 4 to 5 kilometers, you get a church. Any 4 to 5 kilometers, you get a church. But to find a school, some good distance. Am I lying? So it means this church is being built by the parents. When you look at the religious leaders, some, you find if that church leader are going for maybe for fellowship, they contribute money. And from there, they eat from a distance, they eat chicken. But you here, you're eating beans, forgetting your what? Your children at home. That is we the parents. Then another thing, there's something you call a diero. is contributing to total poverty and ignorance of the brain. Sorry to mention that. You realize that every weekend you are changing new clothes and you are eating meat. But your children from home, they are eating nothing. When you come back home, you find your children are eating greens. For you, they are smelling meats in your mouth. Do you think I can go to school tomorrow? Or I will have the tendency that if I continue, I would get my adhere so that tomorrow I begin eating meat. We are giving a bad example.
Yes. Thank you, Honorable.
Is it not common?
And finally.
Then lastly, I want to give on school governing body. You find like PTA, SMC with the changing pattern in education. You find a chairman PTA or SMC is a P0, P5 dropout. It's a P3 or P5 dropout, but we the parent, we elect them. How can a fool lead a fool? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We are badly off.
When I was calling the parents were watching me and waiting for their turn. They are giving me a ride for my coming to Amura. But thank you, Honorable Member. Round of applause. He raised very, very important points there that pertain us as parents. And it's very, very important to note that we talked about these pillars. Honorable Member, I saw a hand up. Please come take the floor of the August House. The pillars, they talked about teachers, they talked about the parents, the students, and the departments. Yes, parent.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am by the name Okelo Innocent Tomakwa. I've been a student for a while, and as I was in this August Parliament, I've been gathering a lot of information pertaining our education. I want to say it is a collective responsibility of both the parents, political leaders, and the government officials that our children perform to the best. If you have heard from various speakers, they have been saying long distance and some of the parishes pertaining as according to the government policy that each and every parish should at least have a primary government-headed school. And more so in Amura district, most of the parish does not have that. What does that call for? Ever since Amura has been given district, we have been calling and we have been electing various leaders, more so the representative at the parliament, that they are supposed to go and represent the voice of the people of Amura so that Paris at least have that primary headed school by the government. But most of our leaders that we have been electing them to parliament have not been representing our voice to the floor of parliament. That's why up to now, they are not doing that responsibility of representation and follow-up on government policy. That's why up to now, parishes of Amura district, some of the parishes doesn't have the primary school. Secondly, it comes to parents, if we leave aside the political leaders, it comes to we the parents and other parents in various places. It is always challenging that you get the parents very early in the morning already with a bottle of alcohol in the hand when the child is just at home, not taking that responsibility of seeing like after waking up in the morning, my child has to go to school, of seeing like I have to make a follow-up at school, is my child, how is the child performing? They are not doing that. If you come to the government officials, more so the district officials that pertaining the sector of education, it is hard. For us during our time when I was still at school, I used to know Tadeo as the inspector of school. He could used to move to Amura Lamogi after each and every week. At least he do a follow-up. But nowadays, they normally take times as they do conduct their following at school. So it is their responsibility. They should also wake up, as we parents, we also wake up, as the political leaders also wake up, as we gather all our effort towards education so that we see our children perform to the best. We are the most brightest people around Acholi sub-region. Go to parliament, we have got the various people who have come from Amura, like Honorable Nobad Mao is a born of Amura, which means we have got the brain, but we lack the what? The effort that we have to gather together so that we push our children to the best performance. Thank you.
I'm by the name Patrick Upio from Amura sub-county, Toro Paris, and from the village called Sambo, that is our local language. But I don't know how we can call it evergreen vegetable. You know, Mzungu are very funny. Madam Moderator, I want to say this is a very warmly welcome of you, NTV of Parliament. When I heard of this thing, I wouldn't even have any transport. I say, God, can I also have opportunity to reach these people? Because getting this chance is not easy. So I'm so happy about. Send my regard to your bosses that we need this thing 100% to be coming here in Amura. Thank you. I want to go straight away to my point of view. I have only 3 points. One, I want to talk about the PW people, because that is my priority. Because when I say this thing, those who have the sight, they will see. Those who have even the ear, they will hear. Those who have an interpreter of language, whatever, they will also see from there. So I want to talk about this. If you see Madam Moderator, in Amuru district, I'm so happy that at least they have tried their best. The education department have tried their best to open the section for visual impairment or for PW people. Because since long time ago, we were not been having. We talked about this to the education office. So one day I came to her office. Then she made me to be happy that the school is there, which is in Pabo Primary School. But only that the challenge I want to hear from them. I don't know how number of people are there or people are there studying. I didn't hear from Madam D, or maybe before he left or she left, he have to talk about that. And the next thing, the material, where this, because for we, the visual impairment, we use Braille, where we can touch and we read and write. I don't know if they have all that in that school. Then secondly, with the people who move on wheelchair, because sometimes if the school will not be having the ramps and so forth, I want to hear that one also if they have, so that when they are going to the class, they will get also a good, relaxed and good situation with their fellow. The second thing I want to talk, I hear people talking about the performance and whatever. Madam Moderator, this one, I want people to hear very well that we have to join hands from the local government or the local leaders from the villages. In the strategy of the government or the structure, government put a very good structure of the leadership. We have the village chief, we have the LC1, we have the executive, we have the LC3, the LC2s. All these category of leaders, they have to play their role. We should not be talking about teachers, head teachers, and what, and yet, when you go to the village, to the parish, you find also leaders that are relaxed, especially when the term open, that they want to go and sensitize our parents that you people take the school and the children, and also they should follow up to the villages, especially for the leaders. They can put some little law by where people can also follow. For instance, for the LC1s, if you put that in each of my place, I need you parents, at least 20 children to be to school, and you have to pay it fully. If you don't fail, at least some little law that can capture them. You see all the parents will participate in. I want to talk about the issue of feeding. You see, Madam Moderator, sometimes I have 15 children or I have 20. It's not also a little bit easy. But if we can also let our leader to train or to talk about to the parent that at least we have potatoes, we have cassava, can put some little maybe some paste or some paste and some cassava, you put it in the fire, on the fire, then at least a child can pack and go during lunch and can eat. Those are local food which are so good. The pumpkin, see there's a local leader what's called the late Walter Chore. Those are traditional good food. Can even sensitize the parents, they can prepare that thing, so that when the children are going to school, they can pack as their pack lunch. Lastly, I want to talk about People talked about the management team and so forth. Okay, it is true they have not studied, but the policy of government allow them in their capacity to do the job. But only that they lack training. Sometimes they can train them, but they don't know their roles. So that is also the role of the head teacher, and maybe the education, they should be also reminding them every time that as a chairman for PTA, do this and that. As a chairman for SMC, do this and that. The other issue also I want to tackle, Madam Moderator, the foundation body. Sometimes I heard if I'm telling lies, they can challenge me. This foundation body also, you find Catholic body with the, maybe Church of Uganda or CMS, they will also be grumbling about this small money where parents bring. Also, that is also a challenge. Because you see, when you are quarreling or you are grumbling for the money or fighting against yourself, you cannot put your head to see that the performance of school go well. So I pray that one day that money they should, if the government can put some little law about it, so that to bring them peacefully and unite one together. I'm so happy, I'm so glad, I'm so very honored. I call again you people to bring this thing again and again. I'm very glad. God bless you as you go back to Kampala. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Stop grumbling for money because we have a whole generation to raise. If you're in the House today, a number of interventions have been brought up to ensure that we raise our children the best way to be the next generation that is firm and strong in Amuru. Have you benefited from any? And if you have, which is that one intervention? Yes, Honorable Member.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker, and the House at large. Good afternoon. Wilfred Lajul is my name. I'm a classroom teacher, apparently teaching in Lamogi sub-county. Madam Speaker, as teachers, for us, we have series of problems. And I'm not going to touch all of them, but I will only focus at the one which is affecting us most. One is about the accommodation. So most of the schools in Amura are not having good teachers' accommodations. You'll find if you go to all these schools, the good buildings are for teachers. And then this small one, all we call the grass touch house, are being left for only teachers. So it's making teachers not to be 100% in school, moving up and down home. So that is really affecting us. And then two, teachers are having the problems with the account committee in the district. Really, most of the teachers are complaining about the disappearing of their names in the payrolls. So as a teacher, you cannot work, and then at the end of it all, you don't realize anything in your account. And when you come to the district here, there will be what? Bouncing you fill this form. So it's making teachers to work under stress, which is really very bad. So I want the office of the account also, our cow, to clarify this. I beg to stop here. Thank you.
And there you have had it. The parents of Amuru also have some concerns that they are raising, that they want leaders to intervene and support them on their journey of parenting. But before we delve deeper into what the specialists speak about parenting and how best we can parent our children together, let us have more submissions from parents after this break to give us a deep insight on how they can do this better together with other stakeholders. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, and we are discussing parenting. How can we parent our children respectfully? How can we ensure that they are disciplined, but still we cater for their rights, but also we are looking into the deeper concerns? And there's one thing that is quite outstanding for me when in this entire conversation, that most of the parents are not as present in the lives of their children like they are supposed to be. They are either very busy or they just choose to do other things. And this has been mentioned from the beginning. However, I would like to clarify that reports have it that a respected family is seen through the behavior of their children. So what we reflect as parents, we reflect in the lives of our children. So why am I bringing this to light? Because we want to understand, how do we parent our children? Maybe it's time we went back to the drawing board. I'd like to invite a honorable member to come and take the floor of the August House and bring this home to us to explain to us, how do we parent our children, especially in this?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Good evening, honorable members, all protocols observed. My name is Dr. Betty Okot. Actually, I'm a descendant of Amura, I should say, born and raised elsewhere. I'm very happy to be here today speaking about parenting and the kind of work we have been doing in the name of addressing the parenting crisis, which research has shown us is not only a problem of Amura. First of all, I'll go back a little and talk about where I come from in terms of work and professionalism. Today, I speak on behalf of the Child Health and Development Center. This is a teaching and research center at Makerere University, the School of Medicine, College of Health Sciences. Madam Speaker, in your submission, you mentioned parenting for respectability a number of times. The Parenting for Respectability program that I'm going to talk about was designed by a Ugandan expert called Dr. Godfrey Siu, who manages our department. He built the program based on evidence from research conducted in Uganda with Ugandan parents to address some of the issues that has caused mayhem in Ugandan families. Many of the issues that parents struggle with, many of the things that are setting our children behind. This program was tested here in Amura, and it was tested in Wakiso district. We did a trial, what we call in research, a randomized controlled trial. In that trial, we grouped parents into what we call treatment groups and control groups. In Amura, we worked in Lamogi sub-county. That was, I think, around 2021 into 2022. We did the same trial in Wakiso at the same time. Reasons being, we were drawing a comparison about Amura, which is a rather remote district, a young district, a post-war context. And we are comparing this with parents in the metropolitan Wakiso, which is so diverse. It is composed of very rich parents and families compared to what we see here. After the trial, we came out with results that were shared countrywide. Our results showed a number of things. First of all, at baseline, we investigated what were the issues affecting families, what are the issues affecting parenting, and if they're there, how are we going to address this? Among the issues, we found high rates of child maltreatment, mistreatment of children. Call it abuse, call it neglect, call it all sorts of things. We also identified what we call harsh parenting. A parent thinks he's disciplining a child, and in our local community here, they don't even have the shame to use certain language that you would not expect a parent to use towards a child. Violent parenting or violent discipline. We found rates of absent parents, parents who parent from a distance, parents who impregnate and disappear. You find mothers strapped handling families, large sizes. Somebody earlier on spoke in the local language and said families or parents are struggling with also parenting. He referred to it as labade. Labade is, the bade is the arm. So it is that additional. You know, a child may have a child, and because they can't raise that child, they bring the child back to their parents. This is grounding grandparents, taking them back to raising children again with resources they do not have.
Honorable Member, I want to ask, as you were approaching these communities, especially in Amura, that are rebuilding after the conflict, what are some of those things you discovered along the way? Some of the patterns that were contributing to poor parenting, and how did you help some of those parents address them and overcome them? And if they did, are there any parents in the house that could testify? Because I would like, after a submission, to have at least 2 or 3 parents come and testify and tell us their journey on how they overcame this, and maybe how other parents will be able to benefit.
I wanted to come to that.
Briefly, you have only 5 minutes
yes,
now.
But I'll bring it up now. The pattern is quite complex. A lot of the things draw from the trauma of war and displacement. People have been disoriented. They are resettling in a context they've been away from for over a decade or more. They are reconnecting with their truly traditional system of raising families in an environment in which they were never taught. Many of the parents here were born and raised in the camp. So they lost that touch with the cultural orientation towards what a respectable family is. All right? Now, because of that, you find them getting into polygamous situations when they did not plan to do that. You find parents abandoning children because they don't know what it means to hold a family together. This has caused what we call family instability. Parents lack resources. The hard work culture of cultivating the land has been lost. If you were riding to Amura in the morning, you would have found young men seated at the roadside in the trading centers. They are already high like a kite. By 10 o'clock, they don't even know what A is or B is. They're either smoking something or drinking something, and many of them are not going to the fields to work or trying to raise income for their families. So lack of family income also contributes to this. Above all these things compound into what we call gender-based violence. But when we refer to it as gender-based violence, we are only tackling a little bit of the problem. It goes back to how parents relate as couples. So in our program, Madam Speaker, the Parenting for Respectability, our primary focus is on re-educating parents about what their roles are. And in this re-education, we have a manual, a training curriculum that was designed by us in Makerere University. They were not imported by anybody, and we based our curriculum on the different cultural values and norms that are positive in the different Ugandan cultures.
Can you highlight some of those?
Yes, I'm ready to highlight a number of them. One of the things we educate parents about is how to communicate in the family. First, as couples, what do you do? How do you talk to each other? And family communication must involve the child. We must listen to the children as well. They do have voices. We do not impose on them. We communicate. We deal with spousal relationships, guiding parents on what they should do at their levels as heads of families. Then we have a topic on family headship. Many of the men in this room call themselves heads of families. But when we heard from the mothers who spoke before, they have abdicated this role, left it to the women.
Okay, Honorable Member, I want you to wind up. And I would like you to highlight at least 2 parents who are able to benefit from this program, and they would tell us how they walked this journey.
Thank you so much. Then we also deal with discipline and how not to use harsh discipline and authoritarian parenting. Among all the topics, we have 16 topics that parents cover. So during the program that we implemented in Amura, we engaged with over 2,000 parents. In this room today, we brought 25 of them to give us testimonies of where we found them as parents. How were they behaving? How were they treating their children? I remember in one of the groups I attended, Madam Speaker, if it pleases you that I talk about this, a parent testified about how he used to come back home every day late at 3 a.m. So a child of P2 came home with homework. He was asked to draw the picture of a family, of his family. The child drew his mother, himself, and 2 other siblings. Then the father was drawn without a face. Then he showed the dad, and he said, "But who is this person without a face?" The little boy said, "But it's you. Why don't I have a face? Because I always see the back of your head when you're leaving home. You come back when I'm asleep. I don't have a relationship with you." So at the end of our program, Madam Speaker, we had a 49% reduction in child maltreatment. And we had a 51% reduction in spousal violence, intimate partner violence, the kind of violence that you men and women, call gender-based violence. Women even revealed to us cases of marital rape.
Okay. Honorable Member, I would like to have 2 parents who are able to give us their testimonies, living testimonies. I had a hand there. Please first come.
So I would like to invite, if you can, the people who attended our program and can testify about the change that they experienced and what parenting for respectability actually did for them. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
I'd like to have the next Honorable Member of Parliament highlight on some of the benefits that they got from the Parenting for Respectability program and other programs that have come in Amuru to address some of the evils. I would call them evils, or I would call them challenges like gender-based violence. Honorable Member, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The protocol observed. Thank you for the NTV for coming down here to Amura District. I'm one of the parents who attended this program of Parenting for Respectability. So I have some testimonies that I can give out for you to know that this program was really good for us and for the community at large. So as parenting is concerned, we were trained and given some, like, for example, how to cope up with these kids. Okay, like in our communities, parenting in such a way that you parent with a child or bonding. There is a way that you and a parent, as a parent, you are supposed to be what? Bond together with a child. How can you be bond together with a child? Or in such a way that if you bond with a child, it is easy for you to parent a child. The other parents that if you're giving out like if you're giving out punishment to a child, others are too harsh on children, and others tend to be what? Slow on children. But in this parenting was like giving us a procedure on how we can parent these children, just calmly, for you to know that a child is what? A respectful child, how to train this child. For example, if a child does something and you what? You harshly say to a child that, "I will beat you," automatically the child will become what? Will fear you. And what can you do as a parent to be close to the child? Just parenting gave us a clue on how we can what? Be close to these children. You can, like, if a child comes back from school, you can call the child, bring the child next to you, and talk to the child. What have the teacher been telling you from school? And can we do this? And sometimes you can what? Tend to even play with the child, just being close to the child, so that the child knows that what? At least you are what? You're so close. I heard a parent was saying that.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Your time is up, so I want you to wind up because you only have three minutes for each
Okay,
member.
thank you.
I'm just giving you 1 minute.
I was
to wind up.
answering, there was a question from a parent that we the women tends to what? To take up children from men. Yes, I was saying, if a child, like a parent, a male parent, if a child is coming back home and you tend to what? To be harsh to the child will automatically fear you as a man. But for us ladies, we know how to what? Talk to children. If a child is coming back home, hey, thank you, my child, for coming back from school. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Let me have another parent. Tell me how this has impacted your family and how it has improved your family.
My name is Aloy Irene. I was once a woman who also attended this training of parenting for respectability.
How did it impact you and your family? Do you see any change? And what would you advise other parents to follow?
That's what I'm going to. First of all, at first I was not the way I am looking nowadays. I am looking now because I used to be tough on my children. I thought maybe if I train them with harsh words, or maybe if I beat them, that's the way they will be good at school, they will do something that please me. But after this training, I realized that I should change and make friends with them so that they understand who they are. And also when we are planning for our family, I should also involve them. So that my children are now coping up. And also in my class, I thought maybe I'm the only center of information. I used not to give them time to speak out their mind. So after this training, I become someone who is friendly with them. And now if you go to my class, you find pupils speak freely and they speak up their mind. You get a way also of helping them. Thank you. I beg to stop here.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Let me have you, Honorable Member, to come and tell us why did you come up with this and how it has helped impact the parents. Yes, 3 minutes for each, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Members in the House, protocol observed. My name is Achiro Stella. I'm the Senior Community Development Officer for the district. In my department, I handle issues regarding culture, community development, and gender activities. Within the same Department of Community-Based Services, we have the Office of the Probation Officer that directly looks at issues relating to children and the families. Also within the same department, we have the Office of the Labor Officer who looks at all issues relating to labor.
Are they in the House today or you're representing them?
I will speak across.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we have our colleagues within the room. I know when time comes, they will say a word or two. But for now, I'll make a brief presentation relating to our activities. Madam Speaker, as you are aware, issues regarding gender-based violence and child abuse go hand in hand, they're interrelated. And as I said, the various sectors within the district handle all these issues. So there's no a clear cut between a child protection issue and a gender-based violence issue. These issues go hand in hand. That is why I can make the presentation for my other colleagues. As Amura District local government, we are experiencing a high rate of teenage pregnancy. which came out clearly in Kau's remarks. For the past quarter, it was recorded at 21%. Now, if we look at the national rate, it's at 25%. That still doesn't give us the heads up to say we are doing well. The rates are fluctuating. In the first quarter, we had 19% of teenage pregnancies. Second quarter was 21, and we're still at 21, meaning there's a rise from 19% to 21. And our fear is that the figures may go a little bit up. Now, these are all issues that relate to parenting within our communities. Within our communities, we have a lot of issues reported regarding child neglect. I'm glad that several parents have come up here and talked on issues regarding child neglect. Now, child neglect affects our education system directly, and that is why we have several programs that have come on board to help support the district and the community of Amuru to improve on certain issues. And Parenting for Respectability is one of the programs that has come to join hands with Amuru District Local Government. Makerere University, through the Child Health Development Center, came up with this program, like we've had, being implemented within the district in the 4 sub-counties of Opara, Lamogi, Amuru sub-county, and Lamogi sub-county. In these sub-counties, we've had a number of parents benefiting from the program. And Madam Speaker, you can attest to that. We've had a number of them testifying of how the program has been helpful to them. Also, with the help of Makerere University and other universities, researchers have come up that have helped guide in policy development and guidelines that have greatly benefited the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, and Amuru District has a direct beneficiary. We are very privileged to work hand in hand with Makerere University in this program to bring a positive change within our community. As we speak, in the communities where the program has been implemented, we've recorded tremendous change of attitudes of the parents in positive disciplining of their children. There's a tremendous reduction in the level of gender-based violence within these communities. And then there's improved school enrollment for children in these communities. We are very glad that this program has come up to help and support the parents of this district. However, we still have a lot of other issues that are directly affecting the community of Amuru, gender-based violence being one of them. Our appeal is to all the stakeholders within the district to work hand in hand to make our homes a safe space for our children, because it all begins from home before they can go to school and do what they're supposed to be doing in school. This is my plea. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for that submission. You said you're speaking for the whole department, and that was it, right? Do you have another submission from you, sir? That was a Sam Stella. That was a Sam from the department. Thank you so much for watching NTV People's Parliament. For those that are watching from home, we have been in Amuru District. We have discussed issues ranging from those affecting children in the education sector, but we didn't leave out the core of parenting, because this starts from home, how are parents engaged in the lives of their children directly before they send them to school. Thank you so much for following us until this hour. By the powers vested in me, I adjourn this house until next time.